Some Joplin residents are being helped by Missouri American Water's efforts to replace lead water pipes. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, the hospital in Pittsburgh is under new ownership, and how a grant is helping provide access to locally grown produce in Fort Scott.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Missouri American Water is working to replace lead pipes across the state, including in Joplin homes. This comes as the EPA requires all U.S. water companies to inventory their local service lines. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on what Missouri residents need to know about the pipe replacement program.
According to a representative with Missouri American Water, Joplin's water is perfectly safe because of how it's treated. But that isn't stopping the company from their efforts to replace lead in galvanized water lines. Joplin residents may have recently received a letter asking them to identify the material of their pipes.
Essentially, we don't know what's out in Joplin in terms of how many lead service lines there are. So what we're doing is asking people, especially if they have homes that were built before 1970, to go to our website to self-report, or they can schedule a time for a contractor to come out and check. We just need to build our inventory.
Because the company doesn't own the pipes within residents' homes, they don't have a complete record of who has lead or galvanized pipes and who doesn't. For customers who identify they have these pipes, Missouri American Water is offering to replace the water lines, including the customer-owned portion, for free.
This is something we just want our customers to know that we're doing at no direct cost to them. Lead and galvanized pipe, they stopped using them for a reason, and it is due to, possible hazards with that lead, leaching into lines, especially in areas where they don't treat the water such as we do. It's nationwide, and it's just better to replace that line. Also, if it is a lead or galvanized line, it's probably quite old and subject to breaking.
She says the company is trying to get an inventory of how many homes need a lead pipe replacement by October. This would allow them to know how much work needs to be done and how they can help those homes in a timely fashion.
It's something that in the long run could really benefit them. It gives us a chance to, I think, maybe give some customers additional peace of mind, maybe add, resale value to their home if the service line has been replaced and updated. And it's just something that we take great pride in.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
If you're not sure if you have lead pipes, but believe it may be a possibility, you can request for a contractor to come look through the Missouri American Water website, and they will check the material of your pipes at no cost to you. Well, meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us with a first look at weather.
We've seen a pretty drastic cool down. Temperatures last week pretty high, but yesterday got up to about 83, 84. Our overnight low dropped down to low 60s, and then our high earlier today was about 81, 82 degrees. So definitely cooler than what we've seen over the last few weeks. And then temperatures right now, 67 out in Joplin and Pittsburgh, still 74 in Iola, 73 in Chanute. 68 out in Monette, so definitely cooler. We're dropping down to the low 60s tonight, upper 50s. Clouds were overcast earlier today, but have started to clear out, and we can thank those clouds from a rainstorm that was just south in Oklahoma and in Texas. Now, the rest of the night looking pretty clear, and like I said, temperatures dropping down to low 60s, but we've got a warm up in the forecast. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Mercy has officially taken ownership of the former Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh and has begun changing the signage at the hospital. The change comes after a months-long transferring process after Mercy and Ascension entered into an agreement in February of this year. The transaction was finalized on September 1st. Mercy Hospital Pittsburgh is the third Mercy Hospital in Kansas, joining Mercy Hospital Columbus and Mercy Specialty Hospital Southeast Kansas in Galena. A ribbon cutting at Mercy Hospital Pittsburgh is set for next Wednesday, September 11th. Joplin firefighters investigate an overnight fire in the Emerson neighborhood. Crews responded near midnight to a house on Pennsylvania Avenue. Smoke and flames could be seen coming from the vacant residence. The heat melted parts of the siding. No one was found inside or around the home. A Fort Scott commercial kitchen received a grant to stock the kitchen with equipment that farmers can use to turn their produce into other products. And this will bring more nutritious foods to the Bourbon County community. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
Equipment such as your charbroilers, your gas range, your ovens, your refrigerators.
The Kitchen Collective and Collaborative in Fort Scott was one of the recipients of a grant that will be put towards filling their commercial kitchen with necessities. Farmers will be able to rent their licensed commercial kitchen to create products out of their produce.
For example, take those tomatoes, come into our licensed facility, make tomato marinara sauce or salsa that has a longer shelf life.
Rachel French, a co-owner, says this will be especially helpful to the community because Bourbon County has a scarcity of locally grown foods.
Tiers, and so each kitchen has their own set of cookware, so you don't have to bring anything. Anytime you can get food that is grown in your area in season, it has so many different health benefits.
In our food here in America, it's packed full of preservatives, and we are hoping to sell more of like a stripped down homemade product.
This grant will allow the kitchen to provide the community with healthier food options. Bailey Lyons says as a mom, she likes knowing what's in the food that her kids are consuming. And this will make it easier for busy parents like herself to do so.
Could grab something out of the grab and go case that was homemade with local fresh ingredients rather than hitting the drive-through at a fast food restaurant.
Along with bringing more healthy food options to Bourbon County, this will benefit farmers by giving them access to the equipment they need to turn their produce into other products that they can sell. Reporting in Fort Scott, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The kitchen is the first of its kind in Southeast Kansas and will officially open by the end of September. Well, several Southwest Missouri school districts have teamed up to encourage a community-wide focus on strong student attendance for the upcoming year. The campaign, which kicks off this month, aims to highlight the value and benefits of attending school each day. In 2018-2019, just over 12% of Missouri students were chronically absent. That number almost doubled during the 2022-23 school year. To learn more about the campaign, just go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Art Central Carthage kicks off a new after-school program for aspiring artists. The Art After School program provides a once-a-week opportunity for young artists to develop diverse artistic interests, honing existing skills and be a part of a team, all while exploring various art forms. For one educator, the class can also provide a great form of therapy.
To know that this is a safe place to go, that and anytime they want to come here, we're going to do art. We're going to do sometimes, art's therapy. It really, you don't have to be an artist. You could come in and just do art and paint. It doesn't matter if it's good or not.
The class will be offered every Tuesday after school, and the price per student is $10. Parents are encouraged to register their kids early as space is limited. Well, coming up, how youth sports can help kids handle stress and burnout. Scientists have overcome a major hurdle for producing blood stem cells. A study published in the journal Nature Biotechnology hopes the breakthrough leads to personalized treatments for children with leukemia and bone marrow failure disorders. Testing in immune deficient mice, researchers took human blood cells and reprogrammed them into stem cells that match what's needed for translation. As the school year gets into full swing, many American children will get involved in youth sports. Young athletes can often benefit from playing group or individual sports, but there can be downfalls as well. Fox's Anna Iolopoulos has more on how to prevent your child from experiencing stress and burnout.
60 million kids in the U.S. participate in organized youth sports. No matter if it's team or individual play, young players aren't just having a ball. They're building their physical, social, emotional, and mental health.
My favorite thing about baseball is probably working hard, and because I just like pushing myself, knowing I'll get better in the future.
A lot of parents say they value the benefits of organized sports, including creating a sense of belonging and connection, teamwork, and friendship, according to a recent survey released by the Kids Mental Health Foundation.
Sports at any age is really great for kids in their development. when they're really young, just having that space to move, be out in green space outside. But as kids get older, the emotional side of the benefits of that can be really great in terms of teaching kids frustration tolerance. That's where they can really start learning about perseverance. And then socially, kids want to be part of something.
But it's not all fun and games. 70% quit playing by the age of 13. Mental health experts are urging parents to look out for signs of stress and burnout.
It'll eat up at your mental health if you don't handle it correctly.
We don't want kids to be setting too many expectations on themselves, and especially not too early, because then that'll become more of a stress versus a place of enjoyment.
Losing games, not having calls go your way, and wanting to quit can all be teaching moments. Experts say following these tips can be a game changer. Help your child talk about the pressures they're feeling. If they won't open up, encourage them to talk to their coaches. And find ways to praise your player's performance when they're both celebrating a win or struggling in defeat.
Working through frustration and challenges is definitely something that we want kids to be able to experience and learn the skills that they need to get through those difficult moments. That's a great way to establish that self-assurance and reliance that is really important as they mature. But there's also no problem at all in taking a break. And sometimes kids just need to be given that option as a viable next step for them when they are perhaps feeling kind of fried or too challenged by the sport.
In New York, Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Well, Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later Carl Junction softball hosts McDonald County for its first home game of the season.
It was a much cooler day today, but we also had some overcast clouds, which kept the heat reflected out. So we didn't see that drastic warm-up. We're not really getting a drastic warm-up. We are getting a warm-up in the next couple of days, but taking a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, you can't really tell, but most of the clouds have started to completely clear out of our area. So we're definitely seeing clear night skies tonight, and a couple of days in the next couple of days clearer as well. We had those high-level clouds due to tropical storms moving in Texas and even making it all the way up to southern Oklahoma, though we're going to stay dry for the next couple of days. Our high tomorrow is starting to warm up gradually up to about 87, 88 degrees, so a little bit warmer than what we saw today. Warming up, partly cloudy skies, and winds now shifting out of the southeast. So we're seeing a little bit more of that warmer air being pushed into our area. However, even though temperatures are warming up, humidity stays low for the next couple of days. So as these temperatures get it to the upper 80s, low 90s, humidity stays below 40%. So you can see out in Lamar, 34%, Webb City, 31%, Grove, 36%, Chautauqua, 32%. When we're seeing these low humidity levels, we're not going to expect to feel hot, even though temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer. The same thing on Thursday. 39% out in Pittsburgh, 28% in Mount Vernon, humidity levels. So we're going to stay dry, but like I said, since those temperatures are warming up, we got to see a bit more of a minor risk creeping in Wednesday and Thursday. And then by Friday, little to no risk Friday, Saturday, and Sunday due to the cold front that's moving through late Thursday into early Friday. So until then, we've got this high pressure dome that's just sitting over our area. Winds starting to shift out of the southeast, bringing in some more of that Gulf air, a little bit warmer air. And then as we move past Wednesday, starting to see that high level, low pressure system set up in Canada, draping across a cold front, very weak cold front. So we're not expecting a lot of forcing with this, meaning we're not going to have anything that's driving the storms. We're not getting any type of severe threat, but we are going to see that cold front continue to shift south Thursday by the evening time, making its way into northern Missouri, northern Kansas, and then completely making it into our area. Few isolated showers and isolated thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday morning, and then that front passes and we see winds shifted out of the north. So we're definitely getting cool down for the weekend. Temperatures getting up to about 89 on Thursday, 83 Friday along with those isolated storms, and then 80, maybe even lower than that low or upper 70s on Saturday and Sunday. Overnight lows down to the low 50s for the weekend. Temperatures do gradually warm back up, but I am going to enjoy this weekend.
I know, lower 80s. You cannot beat that right now.
Oh, I'm so ready for fall. I am so excited for those temperatures.
Lows. Woo, it's going to be chilly.
I love it.
All right, well, the Ozarks are known for a lot of great bodies of water, and people come from all over to take a boat out on the lake of the Ozarks, Table Rock Lake, and many others. And of course, with that comes the need for safety. Adam Woodbury has more from Branson.
The summer season coming to a close, but for boaters on Lake Taneycomo, there's virtually no end to the fishing season.
A lot of our trout tournaments are in January, February. We don't really have an off season here.
Which also means there's no off season for boat safety. And a big one, of course, life jackets.
You know, you don't think you need a life jacket until you need one. So it's something you want to take seriously and make sure you're being as safe as possible on the water.
Per Missouri law, everyone on board should have a life jacket on hand. Children under 7 are to wear them at all times unless they're in a boat's cabin.
Outside of that, it's up to whoever's driving the boat. But we definitely recommend wearing one, especially in a river with current.
Derek Sparks also recommends knowing your surroundings. Watch out for other boats in the water. It's easy for others to be in your blind spots. And if you're boating on a river, Sparks says the terrain can change.
A river's a living thing. You have to be aware of any new obstacles, no matter how many times you've been on that particular body of water.
And it doesn't take much for a day of fun in the water to take a drastic turn.
Emergencies don't happen when you expect them.
Well, Sparks also says Lake Taneycomo can feel more like a river than a lake. I know that. It's down below the Table Rock Dam, and during certain times of the day, a current will be coming through the area, which he says can change the feel of the water if you aren't expecting it. Well, coming up, a social media ban.
Brazil's top court upholds a ban on Elon Musk's social media platform X. I'm Griff Jenkins in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
Hotel workers in Baltimore have joined a strike against major chains in 9 cities across the nation. These are striking workers in Waikiki in Hawaii. 10,000 workers at chains including Marriott and Hyatt walked off the job. They're represented by the Unite Here union, which says it's seeking higher wages and fair workloads for staff.
We are fighting for our rights. We all need this for not only for myself, this is for everyone.
The strikes are lasting 2 to 3 days at each hotel, and Hyatt says it's disappointed the workers went on strike because the chain is still willing to negotiate. Global concerns are mounting over online censorship after Brazil's government banned the social media platform X. The ruling is impacting millions of users. Fox News correspondent Griff Jenkins has more.
The social media platform, formerly known as Twitter, remains offline in one of South America's largest countries. Brazil's Supreme Court unanimously upheld a ban of the site X by its top judge on Monday. The ruling blocks access nationwide for some 40 million users and mandates X-founder Elon Musk pay more than $3 million in fines and nominate a legal representative within the country.
I don't know how far we can go. It's strange how far we're getting in terms of information and the limitations they're trying to put on the population.
The court's top judge, Alexander de Moraes, suspended X last week, claiming it allows the spread of misinformation. He also set a daily fine of nearly $9,000 for anyone using virtual private networks to access the platform. Musk said the ruling is destroying free speech, adding, "The current Brazilian administration likes to wear the cloak of a free democracy while crushing the people under its boot." Brazil's president issuing this warning.
Having a lot of money does not allow you to disrespect it. He is not a citizen of the world. He can't offend presidents, congressmen, the Senate, or the Supreme Court.
In addition to the ban on X, the court has also frozen satellite internet provider Starlink's financial accounts in Brazil, which is owned by Musk. And all of this could have an impact on fans traveling to the Eagles-Packers season opening game set for this Friday in Brazil. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Up next, new photos show the decay of the wreckage of the Titanic. New photos show the dramatic decay occurring on the underwater wreckage of the Titanic. The images were taken in July by RMS Titanic, an American company that has salvage rights to the doomed vessel. They show a previously intact railing around the ship's upper deck that has fallen off. The 15-foot section now lies on the sea floor. RMS Titanic says it's saddened by the inevitable decay, and it will continue to preserve and document what it can as the ship's condition changes. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. The city of Miami discusses what's next for their chief of police. Plus, as we enter the final stretch of the presidential campaigns, we see how the candidates are ramping things up.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Miami City Council tonight discussed the future of Police Chief Thomas Hightower Anderson. During tonight's City Council meeting, officials discussed the chief's position during an executive closed session. As it was not open to the public, the details of that session are not known. And we reached out to the city's communication manager for comment, but have not yet heard back. In July, the chief was placed on paid administrative leave following allegations of misconduct. The city has not provided details about the allegations, simply saying they are personnel matters. However, they have hired an independent investigator to look into the matter. The first presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is 1 week from today, if it happens. Both campaigns are kicking into high gear now in the final stretch of the election season. And as Doug Luzada reports from Washington, the margins are still very tight.
Well, by all indications, this debate next week is still a go, even if there's still some wrangling over the rules.
Can we please give it up again for our President, Joe Biden?
Vice President Kamala Harris enlisted her boss to help her campaign yesterday in Pennsylvania, a state where President Joe Biden has strong ties. And along with attacks on former President Donald Trump, there was a sense of urgency.
So we're 64 days out from this election. Ballots in Pennsylvania will start dropping in 14 days. 14 days.
She's a radical left Marxist, and that's what she is.
Trump has kept up his drumbeat of attacks on Harris, and the two are set to face off a week from today on a Philadelphia debate stage, despite continuing efforts by the Harris campaign to change the rules from the last debate, where only the candidate speaking had a live microphone.
She's now trying to change the rules of the debate. We've agreed to the rules of the debate. We are looking forward to being there on September 10th. The microphones will be off. People will be standing at a lectern, and there'll be no notes.
The Harris campaign says the Trump campaign is afraid of having both microphones on. Either way, in the remaining weeks ahead, both campaigns will be on a tear through swing states.
If you look at some of the key polls, the state polls, I think there are a number of states, most notably Georgia, Arizona, and North Carolina, that some Republicans thought were kind of in the bag for Trump, and now they're in play. Not saying he's going to lose them, but they're in play.
And one of those states, North Carolina, will begin mailing out ballots now in less than 2 weeks. In Washington, Doug Luzada, Fox News.
A federal judge has rejected Donald Trump's request to intervene in his New York hush money criminal case. It was an attempt by the former president to overturn his felony conviction and delay his sentencing. The judge ruled today that Trump had not satisfied the burden of proof required for a federal court to take control of the case from the state court where it was tried. The Biden administration says the executions over the weekend of Israeli hostages by Hamas underscore the importance of reaching a hostage and ceasefire deal as quickly as possible. Thousands protested in Tel Aviv for a third straight night, demanding Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reach a deal to free the remaining hostages and end the fighting. A major sticking point in negotiations remains control of the Philadelphia corridor, the southern part of the Gaza Strip that borders Egypt. A bit later, lab-grown cocoa could help protect the world's chocolate supply as climate change threatens production.
definitely been a cooler weekend and first half of the week, but let's go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Can't tell, but most of the clouds have completely cleared out, and we're looking ahead to a clear evening and a pretty nice day today and tonight and tomorrow. So those clouds have started to clear out. Like I said, those mostly just high level clouds from some storms in Texas and southern Oklahoma, though we are staying mostly dry for the next couple of days. Temperatures do start to warm up to about 86, 87 tomorrow, partly cloudy skies and winds shifting out of the southeast. So we're getting a little bit more of that warmer air as a high pressure system sits over our area. But even though temperatures are warming up, humidity levels stay relatively low. So only 22% relative humidity in Stockton and Nevada, 37% Neola, Yates Center, only 31% out in Webb City, 38% in Commerce. So all of us are below 40% tomorrow, and then the same thing on Tuesday. Definitely drier conditions, 29% Nowata and Veneta, 36% in Webb City, 30% in Nevada, so not so bad. Even though temperatures are increasing the next couple of days, humidity stays low, so we're not really seeing that moderate to major risk as we get into more of the fall season, but we are going to see that minor risk creeping back in Wednesday and Thursday, then starting to clear out by Friday because we do have a cold front in the forecast, and the same on Saturday, looking really good. So right now, we've got this high pressure dome sitting over our area and those winds out of the southeast. So we're getting some more of that Gulf air, although still low humidity. So temperatures are rising, but we're really not feeling the heat as much as we have in the past couple of weeks. Then as this high pressure system starts to shift off to the east, we start to see a low pressure setup up north in Canada, draping a cold front across the Midwest. However, it's a weak cold front, so we're not getting a very strong wind change or even temperature drop as this front passes. We also don't have a lot of mid-level forcing, meaning the temperature change is not drastic enough to drive these storms to be any type of severe threat. So we might see a few isolated showers, thunderstorms as these are moving in. This is going to be more Thursday evening into Friday morning. You can see the rain chances kind of drop off. So we've got a few chances of rain, scattered showers, but really, like I said, not seeing a lot of forcing, so not seeing a lot of strong storms in our area, not even expecting a lot of accumulation. But after those cold front pass, after those storms pass, temperatures do drop from about 89 degrees on Thursday to about 80 degrees on Saturday, maybe even 79 degrees. And our overnight lows dropping down to low 50s, 53 degrees Saturday night into early Sunday morning, about 81 for a high on Sunday. Unfortunately, it doesn't last long because those temperatures do start to increase back up to the upper 80s, low 90s by midweek next week. I am going to soak up these temperatures this weekend as much as I can.
Yeah, why not? And truly enjoy your evenings. I mean, that's getting close to needing the heater almost. I won't be. I won't be. It's
going to be a nice month or so where I don't have to have my AC on, and I will save so much money. Yes. I'm excited.
Yay. It's about time. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, coming up in sports, a couple of Gorilla football players receive weekly awards from the MIAA. Plus, McDonald County softball tries to spoil Carl Junction's home opener. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
High school softball is alive and well in southwest Missouri. Carl Junction began its 2024 season with 3 wins and a loss in the Hound Dog Classic in Aurora over the weekend. Today, the Lady Bulldogs play their first home game of the year. Carl Junction with its 2024 home opener against McDonald County. CJ starting pitcher Kylie Spencer starts very strong. She gets a swinging strikeout in the first inning. Then, in the second, catches a batter looking, but in that inning, the Mustangs break through. Bases loaded, and Peyton Allenbaugh hits one in the gap in right center. That'll drop down, it'll roll to the wall. It's a 2-run double. Mack County takes a 2-0 lead. Next batter, Kirsten Hopkins. She hits a grounder over towards first. Easy out there, but Vanessa Zamora hustles in from third. That's an RBI ground out. Mustang starting pitcher Dakota O'Brien was excellent in the circle. She gets a swinging strikeout in the bottom of the second. She goes the distance, pitches 7 scoreless innings, and McDonald County wins it. Final score 7-0. Busy night for high school softball across Missouri. Switching gears to the COC, the defending conference champion Neosho Wildcats look just as strong as last year. After scoring 8 runs in the first, the Wildcats keep Waynesville scoreless and go on to win it by run rule. Final score 10-0 after 5 innings. Elsewhere in the conference, a couple more wins for our local teams. Joplin dominates Lebanon. Eagles take that one 13-3 after just 6 innings. Webb City wins a nail-biter. Cardinals enter the bottom of the 6th, down 1-0 to Nixa, but a 2-run homer off the bat of Lily Hall puts them in front for the first time all game. They hang on to win in the 7th. Final score 2-1. Pittsburgh State football impressed the entire country with its 19-3 win over third-ranked Ferris State on Saturday. The Gorillas are the first Division II team other than Grand Valley State to beat the Bulldogs since 2019. And a few Gorillas get some well-deserved recognition after their performance on Saturday. Starting with Austin Schmidt, the PSU place kicker, converted on 4 field goals in the win over the Bulldogs. That ties the school record. He's named the MIAA Specialist of the Week as well as the Special Teams National Player of the Week by D2Football.com. Schmidt, not the only Gorilla to receive recognition from the MIAA. Linebacker Thomas Cook is named Co-Defensive Player of the Week. This comes after he accumulated 5 tackles, 1 sack, a forced fumble, along with a fumble recovery in that win over Ferris State, and he helped limit the Bulldogs to 171 total yards of offense. That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
As climate change continues to threaten the world's cocoa production, researchers are racing to find ways to grow the crop under more stable conditions. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at how lab-grown cocoa could help bolster chocolate supplies in the future.
Bad news for chocolate lovers. A growing number of scientists say the worsening effects of human-caused climate change are creating hostile conditions in rainforests where cocoa beans grow. Cocoa trees are abundant in regions of West Africa and South America, but while these crops like a warm climate, dramatically hotter temperatures are drying out the land.
And that has led to massive drops in yield around the world in cocoa.
It's unfortunately causing cocoa prices to skyrocket. To combat the climate-fueled issues, researchers at the company California Cultured have devised a way to grow cocoa inside a lab. Using a technique that involves placing cocoa bean cells in sugar water, the team is able to get the cells to reach maturity in about a week.
Take a cutting of the cocoa bean, put them onto plates, and we trick basically the cocoa cells to grow and divide. And after a certain level of growth, we're able to harvest that and transform that into chocolate.
Strategies like this could help ease market tensions in the future, especially as the demand for chocolate rises. The National Confectioners Association reports chocolate sales in the U.S. and Europe were greater than $25 billion last year.
We're basically developing the underlying technology that you could actually grow chocolate and coffee anywhere in the world without some of these exploitative or destructive practices.
California Cultured is aiming to sell its lab-grown chocolate products next year. Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, coming up, we'll hear from the cast of the Beetlejuice sequel about bringing the classic back to life. Tim Burton's iconic mischievous demon returns to unleash mayhem in theaters starting Friday. The highly anticipated sequel, Beetlejuice, features the original cast members, including Catherine O'Hara. The award-winning actress and co-star Jenna Ortega shares with us the excitement of being a part of the film. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Now's my chance.
Michael Keaton is back as the iconic ghost with the most in Beetlejuice. Tim Burton's sequel arrives 36 years after the cult classic and reunites Keaton with co-stars Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara.
It was thrilling and ridiculous and hilarious and inspiring, and looking at Michael's face up close is just happiness and madness.
O'Hara reprises her role as Delia Dietz, starring alongside Jenna Ortega as her granddaughter Astrid. The Wednesday star is excited to be part of another world created by Burton.
How cool is that? How cool is that I got to be a part of that? I don't know how it happened. I don't know why he asked me back, but what an honor. I mean, truly, Wednesday is, was a different type of job for me because it's TV, it's a long haul, an iconic character that's been done before. So with this, to just be a part of something that holds so much weight in film history, really, I can't compare anything to Beetlejuice. It's just been an absolute pleasure.
The long-awaited sequel centers on the Dietz family being terrorized by the striped suit-wearing demon again, after Astrid accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife.
The first Beetlejuice movie was an original, and I can honestly say this movie is an original. You don't have to have seen the first, I don't think, to love this. It's probably a bonus.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
All right, I'm ready for Beetlejuice. Oh man, I've just said it 3 times. Watch out. Well, if you've ever wondered who would be communicating with me through this little earpiece, our IFB, that's our director, Courtney Head. And tonight is my last show with Courtney. I'm really sad to have to do this, but I have to say goodbye to her tonight. She's been a director. I've been working with her for about the last year since I've been on the evening. It's been a pleasure and a blessing working with you, Courtney. I'm gonna miss you, and I wish you the best in your future endeavors. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna leave you with video of a lioness at a sanctuary in England. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.